Hello and welcome to snowy Springfield, Massachusetts. Today we're climbing aboard Amtrak's Vermonter from here down to New York's Penn Station. Springfield's Union Station was built in 1926 by the Boston and Albany Railway. In its heyday, as many as 97 trains would depart Springfield daily, though that fell to 15 after the opening of the Massachusetts Turnpike in 1958. Today, the station serves Amtrak's Northeast Regional, Valley Flyer, Vermonter, and Lakeshore Limited, plus the shared Amtrak and CT Rail Hartford line to New Haven. Heading inside the station, we enter the recently renovated main hall. In the years following Amtrak's takeover of the station, the main building was closed down due to a decrease in demand for rail travel. A secondary, smaller street-level station was constructed on the southeast side of the complex, with the older station sealed off from passenger use. In 2008, a renovation plan was announced for Union Station, with finalized plans revealed in 2014. Renovations began in early 2016, with the station reopened to the public in June of 2017, almost 44 years after the station first closed its doors. In the center of the waiting hall hangs the departure board. At the top is our train, Amtrak Vermonter number 57, which has been delayed by almost 30 minutes due to weather restrictions farther north. It does, however, mean that we'll be departing after the northbound Vermonter, which has just pulled in on track 4. On the rear of train 54 today are two beautiful private cars, Union Pacific's Pacific Union and New York Central's Babbling Brook. Built by Bud in the 1950s, Pacific Union is one of 50 Pacific Series sleepers manufactured for Union Pacific. These cars are known as 10-6 sleepers as they feature 10 roomettes and 6 bedrooms. The car saw service with Union Pacific until it was transferred to Amtrak in 1971. In 1980, the Pacific Series was refurbished by Amtrak, with the coach sold to private owner Webb Rail in 2018, a full restoration taking place shortly after. Taking a peek through the window, we can catch a glimpse of one of the roomettes. Each roomette included a wide seat for daytime running, with a sink and toilet on the other end. At night, the bed would fold down from behind the seat, spanning the entire length of the room. An instruction placard is located beside the seat, informing passengers how to operate each of the room's main amenities. On the other end of the coach are the 6 bedrooms. Each bedroom included a much longer couch with room for 2 passengers. The beds in these rooms would be formed by folding down the couch to reveal the first, with the second extending from the wall above the lower bunk. Now, Bud manufactured 4 main types of streamlined sleeper cars: the Chateau, Manor, Pacific, and Slumber Coach. Although the Pacific and Slumber coaches are no longer in service, the Chateau and Manor cars are operating on VIA long-distance trains in Canada. And next week, that's exactly what we're doing, taking the ocean from Montreal to Halifax on one of VIA's Chateau sleepers. If you want to see what it was like traveling in a sleeping car from the 1950s, be sure to stick around for when that one goes live. At the rear of the train is New York Central's Babbling Brook, a Bud-manufactured sleeper and observation car. The Brook series cars are known for their rounded ends, giving passengers a beautiful look out the rear of any train. As indicated on the rear of the coach, this car was built for service on New York Central's New England States long-distance route. The front half of the car includes 4 double bedrooms, with a kitchen and bar in between them and the lounge area. As with the Pacific Series, the Brook Series is no longer in operation. However, we need only to turn our attention back to Canada to find its sister series, the Park Car. The Bud Park cars are domed versions of the Brook Series and currently operate on Via Rail's Canadian between Toronto and Vancouver. Soon from beyond the platform appears our train, Amtrak Vermonter number 57. Unlike a normal arrival, our train is backing into Springfield. This is because Springfield's platforms are perpendicular to the north-south tracks of the Hartford line to New Haven. In order for the Vermonter to continue south, the train has to reverse for at least some portion of the turnout into Springfield. In this case, northbound trains run forward into Springfield, while southbound trains reverse into the station. As our train comes to a stop, we can head to the forward boarding door and climb aboard. The train is absolutely packed with people, and it's a miracle we even score a window seat, our train rolling out of Springfield before we can even get settled in. As we begin our southbound run towards New York, let's take a look at our route down to the Big Apple. Our journey begins heading south out of Springfield and along the east bank of the Connecticut River. Crossing over into Connecticut, the tracks transition to the west bank of the river, stopping in Hartford and Meriden as we go. Arriving in New Haven, our train changes from diesel to electric before beginning its run on the Northeast Corridor. The twists and turns of the Connecticut coast mean it's fairly slow running through Bridgeport and Stamford ahead of our crossing into New York. It's a quick ride through the Bronx, crossing into Long Island before a westbound arrival into New York's Penn Station. We'll cover a total of 137 miles on our ride today, with a travel time of 3 hours and 35 minutes. Departing south out of Springfield, our train heads down the east bank of the Connecticut River. The river continues by our side until we turn west to cross it via the Warehouse Point Railroad Bridge. As with most services in the Northeast, the Vermonter is operated by Amtrak's Amfleet 1 coaches. Coach class seats offer around 4 inches between my knees and the seat back, with a bit of additional space beneath the next row to stretch out or store personal belongings. The seat back pocket is in good condition and holds the safety information card for our Amfleet 1 coach. Undoing the latch on the seat back releases the tray table. It's fairly large and translates towards the user for easier access. Above each row are 2 lights controlled by the buttons in between. Seat adjustments are made using the button inside the armrest, which allows the seat back to recline about 20 degrees. Add seat power is provided through 2 outlets located below the window. For those carry-on bags that don't fit beneath the seats, luggage racks can be found above either side of the train, with a larger rack located at the end of each coach. The Vermonter runs a limited stop service to New Haven, our train completing the Springfield to Hartford segment much quicker than our previous time through. As our train heads out of Hartford, we reach the Class 6 line between Hartford and Meriden. Unfortunately, we're limited to 80 on this particular run, however trains do regularly hit 110 on this segment of track and have done so since 2018. Bathrooms on Amfleet 1s are located at the end of each coach, with 1 regular and 1 accessible. Stepping inside, we can slide the door shut behind us. This one is a prime example of a bathroom that's been well looked after, with very few blemishes to speak of. The sink works well with plenty of soap, paper towels, and toilet paper. The only thing in this bathroom that doesn't appear to be at its best are the 2 outlets, the socket yellowed and screws rusted with age. Overall, it's a standard Amtrak bathroom, but this one has definitely been well maintained. Props to the crew and maintenance staff for keeping this one in good working order. The sun begins to poke through the low-hanging cloud cover as we ride south, the heat a welcome addition on this frigid afternoon. If you're enjoying our ride on Amtrak's Vermonter, why not hit that subscribe button? It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. As always, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my patrons and channel members. If you too want your name in the video, access to exclusive weekly posts, and even the opportunity to vote on future videos, then click the links in the top right or in the description below to learn more. The Northeast Corridor begins its parallel run to the Hartford line just before crossing under I-91. The overhead catenaries a telltale sign of things to come. Our train passes through New Haven State Street, pulling to a stop on Track 1 at New Haven's Union Station not 2 minutes later. From New Haven south to Washington, D.C., the Vermonter must operate under electric power, which means swapping out P42 DC number 121 for ACS 64 number 618. Walking to the front of the platform, the engine swap has already begun, our crew working hard to disconnect the P42. After all lines are disconnected, 121 powers up and pulls away from the coaches of Train 57. With 121 clear, our ACS 64 begins to roll down the track towards our consist. Interestingly, we're gaining an additional coach with our new locomotive, a sight not common with engine swaps. The ACS 64 comes to a quick stop just shy of the platform before being guided onto the coupler of our lead car. Electric locomotive now coupled on, the head end power is reconnected and we can climb aboard ahead of departure. Departing New Haven, I decided to move to the new car as it was significantly less crowded, and I'm glad I did. Seemingly nobody else chose to move forward, leaving us with a quiet and comfortable ride to New York. The speeds pick up as we head down the corridor, the evening sun slinking slowly towards the horizon. By the time we reached South Norwalk, the sun had all but set. The rearmost car on our train is the combination cafe and business class coach. Amtrak's cafe cars offer a variety of snacks, drinks, and larger food items for purchase, all at a fairly reasonable price. I wasn't really feeling any of the options listed, so I decided to snack on what I had left from earlier in the day and grab a larger meal once we got to NYC. Speaking of NYC, the lights of the city begin to fill the darkness outside. As we cross Randall's Island and the Hellgate Bridge, the skyline comes into view, the city that never sleeps illuminating the clouds above. Reaching Long Island City, we dip down into the tunnels beneath the East River, pulling to a stop at New York's Penn Station 3.5 hours after leaving Springfield. Stepping off the train, we can head forward for a good look at our Siemens ACS 64 before bringing today's video to a close. As mentioned towards the beginning of the video, next week we'll be up in Montreal to take Via Rail's The Ocean to Halifax. We'll be riding on board one of Via's Chateau sleepers, so get ready for a sleeper experience from the 1950s. If you're new around here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. If you want to go the extra mile with your support, then check out the channel's Patreon or become a channel member. If you too want your name in the video or just want to support the channel in more ways than one, then head on over to the links in the description below. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thanks for riding with me, and I'll see you in the next one.